Nothing really matters to me. Hey, good afternoon. If you don't already know, my name is Kevin G Nicholson, and I am the host of this YouTube channel. And today, well, we got things to talk about. A pastrami sandwich. I had a nice, I didn't have a pastrami sandwich today. I had a pastrami wrap down at Pizza Pizzazz in Danielson, Connecticut. And it was very, very good. I was going to put it in the icon, but I ate it. And that's the way that is. The reason that pastrami sandwich bears talking about at all is because a self-deluded hot girl decided to make a challenge and go, would you rather have me for one night or a pastrami sandwich every day for the next year? In which case, they cut to a lot of different guys, and one of them was hysterical because he was saying how, you know, a pastrami sandwich will let you eat it in peace. A pastrami sandwich won't talk while you're trying to eat it. And it was just, and he just kept going on, and it was absolutely outstanding. Women put themselves on too high a pedestal, especially when you're young and you're pretty. That only lasts for a little bit. The inside really does show through after a while. And then your outside looks like the inside of your body. Fake. That's not even my joke. That's a Tosh joke. Oh, which brings to the next thing, which is rainbow bullies. Well, rainbow bullies are these left-leaning people who are all about the alphabet and how everyone should have. They're using their victimhood in an attempt to try to push other people around, which seems counterintuitive, but that's really, they're actually doing it, have been doing it rather successfully. And that, that's something that's been troubling me. Let me get rid of these. Let me get rid of the rainbow bullies, though. Where's that? Can I do that? I can. Yeah, we are. I like to see myself a little bit. I'm not as pretty as I typically am, but, you know, sometimes you have an off day. Sometimes. I should really do this over here. My camera is freestyle now because I've been screwing with the video projector, which is over there. And so that opens a third screen, and that third screen means I got to go back and forth and back and forth. Sigh. But it's been fun to learn some stuff, though. So, but that means that's why this isn't mounted. This is my travel cam. And let me tell you something. For a camera I bought for a couple $100 10 years ago, it served me well. It's just one of those Sony Handycams, but I'm plugged in and I'm streaming with it, and I used it for all the Renaissance Fair stuff, and that and a lot of the quality was a lot better than I would expect for something this small and this compact. And I mean, it does shake a bit because it's tiny. It's hard to keep steady, but you know, it's funny because I also have a Canon XL1S, which is in the other room. I'll show it to you sometime. It was like top of the line 20 years ago, like a $3,500 camera, mini DV, and that thing sat on your shoulder and you looked like you worked for, a real news station back when there were real news stations. So yeah. But, boy, it kind of looked impressive, pseudo. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. That's okay. We're gonna go in tight to the eyes. There we are. See the concerned look. There's still hope, folks. There's still hope left in the world. So yeah, pastrami sandwich. And then we had the... Oh, I gotta go that way then. So pastrami sandwich. And then the left-wingers who are using the victimhood to try to get everybody else to homogenize and conform, which should be exactly against the policy. You know what I mean? Rainbow bullies. You're not going to LGBTQRSTV your way out of this. Don't lie, don't steal, be nice. And that means be true to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. You know if it's true or not. But you can't manifest yourself. All right, I'm not going to go into it. Because then I'll get all lectury, and it's not as funny when I'm lecturing. It's funny when I sit down to poop and the toilet seat's still down, and I got to clench really hard, and then get myself back up, and then lift up the lid. And anyway, it's more gross, I guess, than funny. Sorry about that. I'm fascinated. There we go. Does it look like a normal eye? Do I look like a normal guy? Should I trim my eyebrows? Nah. All that extra work. I ain't primping, I ain't preening, no more, no more. So yeah, those are the two things I wanted to talk about. It was an excellent grinder, though. Yeah, rap. It was an excellent rap. And, you know, dead air. They told me not to let any dead air on. Alexa, volume 5. Alexa, resume. She cut me off. How dare you cut off my music? Alexa, play songs by Kevin G Nicholson.
Playing songs by Kevin G Nicholson from Kevin's Spotify.
That's right. This. Just trying to center yourself. When things are challenging, you'll catch me doing that. When I'm trying to refocus and center myself, in my head, and it's doing very, very well on Spotify, actually, this song. But that's what it was for, just for that. All things pass. Eventually we all return to the earth, and the ebb and flow of light and dark, death and life, goes forward and repeats. And if you add conditioner, then your hair looks as good as mine. I'm glad I have. I mean, it's a little ratty today, but I still have a pretty luscious head of hair. I'm a nutcase, but I'm a funny nutcase. And that's why, see, Swing Blade or whatever the hell it is, there's Social Razor is the website where you can look up your YouTube channel and any YouTube channel if you know their name. And then it'll tell you what category you're in and what your rank is and how much you're worth, which amuses me to no end. Well, I looked myself up on it a couple days ago, and it looks like I'm a solid C+/B-. oh, well, that's not bad. I appreciate that. And, but they didn't have me for a category. And I get it because I post comedy and plants and animals and Danielson videos and Renaissance Fair. So it's really a mixed bag because it's... Alexa, volume 3. Okay. See, I still like my own stuff. What was I talking about? I lost track. Damn it. Now I'm going to have to go back and watch. I was on the Speed Racer. I knew it would come back to me eventually. And so I'm like, okay, so I have no niche. That's the thing. When you have a YouTube channel, you have to have a niche. And I am a multifaceted person. I don't have just one niche. You know, I paint, I play guitar, I make albums. 22 of them. I'm also a little nervous. Spotify is recalculating its payout system. It might work for me or against me. I'm not quite sure. Because last year, there was an article that said, hey, you know, or actually it was 2 years ago, because I got on it quick. There was an article that said, hey, you know, you guys might be working too hard, making your songs too long. And then they went into the Beatles and how the Beatles have some really short songs and what constitutes a song. So I started doing research, and I was typically doing like the stuff that you hear in the background, but it was really like one clip was like, I think the longest one I had was something like 17 minutes or something like that. Daydreaming and Naps is really long. And they started talking about, well, yeah, but you only get paid by the stream, and that means anytime that song clicks. So anything after that initial minute, you know, is essentially giving it to them for free. And my first, like, 13 albums, I was giving it to them for free. And then I saw that article, and my songwriting changed. Because I'm like, well, you know, they're really right, and I could go back in and I could just make sure everything's nice and tight and then present it as a theme, as a story in, you know, short segments. And so I screwed around with that and found out, well, okay, how short is legal, and, you know, and what do they allow and what won't you get paid for and such. I know I'm rambling, but that's what this is for. I'm supposed to ramble here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, bubbles. But because a lot of people have been doing it with just like AMSIR, you know what I'm talking about. It's where it's nothing but sounds of people crinkling bags or running fingers over skin. That's supposed to like make others go, or so I'm told. I know the channels exist, and I guess that's a real thing. But I guess people are pushing it out on Spotify, and people are actually listening to it. And so they're going, yeah, but, you know, there was one, like, nap time silence channel that only had, like, 35 tracks of, like, the minimum, and it was absolutely no music at all. It was, like, the sine wave was essentially like a flat line or lower, if that could be. And so they're like, well, should we really be paying them? Because the other musicians are actually working their ass off trying to create some really cool stuff. Which I believe I am. I mean, yeah, it's shorter form. My stuff is shorter form now. But there's, you know, I pour myself into it as well. It's, and, you know, even with instrumental, you can do that. I do it with the live guitar. Why wouldn't I be able to do it with the electronic? And just crossed over to here, to good old YouTube, who doesn't pay me at all yet. But you can change that. Whomever watches this, the 5 people who watch this after I've stopped broadcasting, you can go. You can find my Spotify. Put it on somebody else's phone. Make them listen to a track. Force them. I mean, don't use arms or anything like that. Use like, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, if you loved me, you would do it. That's what I'm doing. Or peer pressure. You can use peer pressure. That's not illegal. You want us to like you, don't you? You better listen to Kevin G Nicholson's new album, because he's a swell guy, and we're hoping he gets somewhere. Because if he gets somewhere, we'll get somewhere. Because I've endured a lot, but I still have a kind heart, believe it or not. And I mean, we all endure a lot. That's the thing. I am not a victim. I am a human being who goes through life. And there are good times and there are bad times. And I'd like to think that I've managed to navigate relatively effectively to have more good times than bad times. I certainly have navigated successfully to have more peace than I had before. Which, believe it or not, it gets a little lonely, but it's so relaxing. and it's so nice not to have people in my immediate vicinity, because I was with a lot of people for a long time in close quarters. So you get to appreciate your personal space. And I do. I get to hang out with myself, because I make myself laugh all the time. Just because I have strange thoughts. Let me tell you about this other thought. Let's talk about the judge. The Arizona judge. And if you have any idea, if you're worldly, an alleged criminal. Now, this guy who was known for being, pretty much a douchebag, said, no, Your Honor, my life has turned around. And maybe he was telling the truth. But she looked at his rap sheet and she went, no, I'm looking at this stuff here. You got a lot, mister. You got a lot going on here, mister. And it's time for me to put you behind bars. And do I think that was the right answer? No, actually, I don't. I think, you extend, even after what he did, I think he wouldn't have done it if she would have gone, I'm going to show you mercy this one last time. I think we need more mercy, especially with the court system, which is already overloaded. And I understand some people are making money off it. I think that's a big conflict of interests from beginning to end. It's not supposed to be to enrich others. It's supposed to be to keep society safe. And supposedly places for rehabilitation if some people just don't have a clue. I mean, it always seemed relatively simple to me. Everyone makes mistakes, but the general rule was don't lie, don't steal, and just be nice. Be nice to, respect your elderly. Respect older people in general, because they made it that far. They're winners. And you could learn a little from them. So, But, anyway, I haven't gotten to the meat of the said story. The meat of the said story was, she goes, well, partner, and the thing is, I'm so biased. But, so he jumped clean over the judge's desk and tackled into her like a linebacker. He didn't kill her, but I can't believe he didn't kill her. It was one of those things where I'm like, wow. And the thing is I'm surprised this doesn't happen all the time. I mean, the guy, some of the people who were there said, we've seen fights before. We've never seen anyone take off like a rocket into the But you know what? This guy may have deserved the jail time, and he's obviously going to get it now. But I'm very, very dubious of law enforcement right now. Because they seem to have their own agenda, not just, helping society. It's just self-enriching, it seems, from my perspective. And I don't know everything. But there was a part of me that actually felt, and I don't know this judge at all. I have no knowledge of this lady. But the way that she was composed and the way that, she was speaking to him, there was part of me that was like, go, get her. Really? And I mean, that was the emotion it triggered. Just because I'm so, I kind of feel like everyone in this country feels kind of persecuted by our own government rather than listened to by it. You know what I mean? And if you go into that legal system, you're never getting out of it. It's like a roach motel. I'm fighting to stay the hell out of it, but it's very invasive. And it was never meant to be this invasive. It was never meant to be George Orwell. And I say it was never meant to be. I don't know shit. I just wish people would be nice. I wish the people overseas would stop bombing each other. I wish for more abundance for all the happy people, for all the nice people, because you have to put that addendum in there. No, I don't want the mean-spirited people to have the missiles, or the axes, or the machine guns. And they go, oh, we need these people to defend the weak. I can defend the weak. All right. I mean, I'm not a superhero or anything like that. I put on the cape, though. I'm Batman. I always love the Bat Dad stuff. Oh. So, yeah. It's, we're looking at the actual time I was supposed to start. I've been going for a good 15 minutes now. Oh, 22:32. Just got a counter. I didn't realize that counter. See, I learned something new every day. Oh, I've been in other, other live streams with people who are trying to teach, people who teach how to use the tools. Like OBS is one of the tools that I use to live stream. And so, if ever I get to the point where maybe a couple of you actually hang out here in the room with me, well then I can start using the glitz and the glamour stuff. But, every little step into the future. Like today. It's January 1st. Oh, it's not January 1st. It's January 6th. Oh, see, mistakes are made, but no one was hurt. January 6th, 2024. Remember, it's 2024 now. That's important when you're writing out checks, which no one ever does anymore. So that plastic, just tap that plastic. Tap that plastic. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that. Next album. What do you think? If you've gotten this far and you've seen the stream to this point, should a Tap That Plastic be a song? Because one person goes yes, it's on board. You got to write it in the comments below, later or sooner or I don't know, whenever you can. If you want it, you got to ask for it. So Social Razor. They don't have me in a category yet. But I think I'm going to try to force myself down the comedy road. Because I'm not like, comedian isn't my biggest forte. I think of myself as an artist first and a comedian kind of second, because the creator, you know. But I can't ignore Speed Racer. Oh. So, yeah, it's cold. We're waiting a big storm coming in. Snowstorm, supposedly 0 to 232 feet of snow, or it could just rain. But it's pretty cold, and it feels like the storm is coming. And, well, hey, got my shovels, got ice melt for the driveway. I'll be out shoveling that walk if we get a good chunk. If I luck out, and they're getting us into a hubbub over nothing, well, then luckily I won't have to shovel. I mean, I don't mind, but I mean, I'd rather not have to. I'm not particularly fond of snow, and it's not like the first covering. It's pretty, and it's generally quiet, absorbs some of the noise, so I like that. Oh, excuse me. But I don't like it like the 2 days after, which everything melts, and then everything turns to mud, and then we're back to the Danielson is a ghetto. See, it's beautiful. Even now, if you walk down Broad Street, it's pretty. Just because of the shape of the trees and the hills and the houses around here. Most of them are very pretty. And I never fail to look at the old buildings downtown, and I'm thinking, these have been there for hundreds of years, and human beings built this. And, look at the craftsmanship that we just don't put into things anymore. So I have a lot of affection for this little town, even though it hasn't always treated me well. And it's very, very difficult to make a living out here, because there ain't much in regards to jobs. The Tucker jobs. And really, it's more the machines that have taken everyone's jobs than anything else. So, I guess they're reconsidering a UBI. And good, if they want this thing to work, rather than go 1984, I'd rather go Brave New World. If I get a vote, I'm referring to another dystopian future where everyone's happy, but they're happy because they're all taking ecstasy. And no one's allowed to marry, and no one's allowed to get into interpersonal relationships because that causes drama. Yes, it does too. I mean, some of the things in that were just brilliant. And believe it or not, there was a show on Peacock, Brave New World, and I watched it. And it was actually really good. It wasn't quite uncensored enough for me. I really want there to be a pushback at this. It really is. There's like a negative sexuality bias in this country. I think it's backlash from the Me Too stuff. But they're going overboard, so I'm waiting for the counter wave, and I'm hoping it hits in my lifetime, where they go, you know what, full broke, Caligula Part 2, that sort of thing. And again, not mean-spirited, just the world is what the world is, and you can hide people from it and say, oh, that makes you better. It doesn't. It makes you uneducated. It's like the big thing is, I'm opening a whole can of worms here, but no one's in the room, so I'll just talk. I think kids are smarter than we give them credit for. Kids are also programmed to test boundaries and to go, let's see what I can get away with. You know? We're just watching something about babies who you'll go, no. And they will look you in the eyes while they go and do the same thing you just told them not to do because they're testing the boundaries. Well, if you're genuine, you go, you take it, and you go bad. And then they go, and you go, you redirect. And you go, oh, well, I'm sorry I feel that way, but look at a bird. Look at a squirrel. Look at a, you know what I mean? I mean, are you smarter than a child? I would hope so. I mean, I know not everyone is. But I've met some children who are friggin' brilliant. And you know, hell, even the last one was friggin' brilliant. Unfortunately, brilliant in the ways of evil. But, yeah. It's a world. And with all the hubbub that's going up about, you know, I still feel relatively decent. I get to do this. And this kind of leaves a little bit of a historical legacy, if nothing else, of the fact that, hey, here on January 1st, January 6th, I did it again because I keep looking at the wrong screen. January 6th, 2024, Kevin G Nicholson was, in fact, in his home studio in Danielson, Connecticut, Black Stripe Productions, recording a live stream. Why? Because he's hoping to pick up some watch hours, which will give him access to, I'm already in the partner program, which gives him access to AdSense, which means he can start making passive income on the 1,300 videos that he put on the freaking channel already. My God, the bar is high to make a buck on this thing. But I will continue. I will persevere, hopefully, in time. Can't quit now. And I just bounce back and forth. I'm going to still do the music on Spotify because that's actually the only thing that's keeping me alive right now. Because I don't have a traditional job anymore. Thank you, McDonald's. You whorebox. I'm glad that you guys are being boycotted. They're being boycotted because McDonald's supports Israel. And they were giving away burgers to the Israelis who were bombing the Palestinians. I think. If I got my... I am not a reporter. I am not a school teacher. I am not a role model. You don't want to drink what I'm drinking, which for the record is just Coca-Cola and terrible beer at night. And I switch off a little Dr. Pepper, ginger ale if I have throat problems. Oh, I'll bring that out next time. That's going to be next. I thought it'll be tomorrow. We'll talk about reeds. Reeds will be, that's good stuff. Always was a soda guy. Scoochie from one side to the other. That's when I fell in love with her. Scoochie from one side to the other. Scoochie. Who says Scoochie? She did. No, she was maybe the third girl I've ever met who I thought was actually funny. Because she did Robin Hood's Medieval Fair at the top of the summer. And I went up to Harwington to see her. Oh, is that a ride? I mean, couple hours. Worth it. But, oof, I don't... If it's more than an hour, I typically I'll just abandon nowadays. And I don't really have an option right now because no car at the moment. And that's the other reason I'm trying to get into the YouTube Pay Me program. Because I've had a tip jar up on this channel for 3 years and no one's even touched it. So that's all right. That's why Spotify's my girlfriend. Alexa, I love you.
Good afternoon, Kevin.
Thanks for saying I love you. You're just as sweet as pie.
You hear that?
Know that I'll be here for you.
She's tickled.
Your trusty AI.
I wasn't expecting a song, but that's all right. See? She was part of the show. That was, I guess, in my own way, I just used AI-generated content. Oh, the hat's looking at me. Oh. So I've been pontificating at you guys for a good chunk of time now. Been like a half an hour. I've just been going at it. I guess he's got a lot to talk about. Well, kinda. All right, there's always something to think about, and there's always a danger to perceive. Generally, it's the loudest. I'm not a loud guy. Not. I can be boisterous, stern, but this is pretty much my typical volume. Not trying to alarm anybody. No one wants to be alarmed. But, you know, I believe if I'm going to, I didn't record the session. That's all right. I'll record the next one. Look at this. This little thing is a 2 terabyte hard drive. And it was like 15. It was like 2 terabyte hard drive. Oh, God. It's going to take me forever to get through this. And it was like $15. And it looks like, I plugged it in. It appears to work. I'll report if it doesn't. And then I thought I'd bought it. But I guess, because I went looking for, I could have sworn that I'd bought a hard drive. And then nothing came for like a week. And then I'm like, maybe I didn't. I went back looking for the order confirmation, and I couldn't find it. And I'm like, maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm a fool. So I went to Walmart and I got an external hard drive, 2 terabyte, monster of an external by that standard. 2 terabytes, like $60, $70. As compared to 15, I was dubious that was even going to work. And again, I haven't tested with it yet because, well, I've been using the other hard drive that I bought. And I suppose I could have returned that and gotten $60 back. But I'm already started using it, so I'm like, now it works. So I got to back up if that's way more than I'll need. I knew there were a bunch of them cheap out there, but I'm like, well, that's really weird. I'm like, how do they do that when they're so small and make them so cheap? When the other ones are like, obviously bigger and, the world may never know. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop girl? If you're doing it right, she don't ever want you to stop. Is that a joke? Or is that a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more? I hear vehicles in the distance. Tra-la-la, vehicles in the distance. Yeah. Well, that's all right then. I'm going to start clipping that in. Neil Patrick Harris. You know what? Those episodes, I'm a little rough on them right now. I am talking about the latest Doctor Who. I'm a fan of Doctor Who going back to my childhood and enjoyed very much the revitalization of the show in the 2000s and continued to be a fan until pretty much Jodie Whittaker. And then when they said they were bringing David Tennant back and Russell T Davies back, I got all excited. I'm like, maybe he could restore things with a little bit of sanity. No, he doubled down. They all doubled down. No. But Neil Patrick Harris was in the third one, playing the toy maker. And he did a little song, because Doctor Who could be a musical now. Why not? We've broken all the other rules just to go like this to the fans. They did too. They pretty much gave us the finger, all us old schoolers. Said, this is the way it is now, accept it, you old fox. Yeah, we'll just stop watching. It's that simple. I mean, I went back for David Tennant and Russell T Davies because I didn't think he would diss us so bad, but he did. As a Whovian, as a Doctor Who fan, I feel like you have dissed me, sir, Mr. Russell T Davies. And a little bit by David Tennant as well. I mean, yeah, it's all great. Now that you got the pretty wife and you're literally the doctor's son-in-law, and which was cool, I thought. But now you're towing the feminist message, and no, man, no. And that's not what the Doctor would do either. You portrayed an incarnation of the Doctor just like I did. Mine just didn't get very much recognition, which is fine. Yours is better. The original. The one that caught feelings for Rose Tyler. That almost made you bridge the alien with the human. So yeah, this is going to be 12 minutes of Doctor Who talk. You hear the church bells in the distance. If I'm really quiet, maybe you could hear. I can't put the gain up anymore. So that was disappointing. And then the latest one was Shooty Gatwa, or whatever his name is. He just straight out does a routine with goblins. Goblins, for Christ's sakes. They're not even trying anymore. But all right. Just a story, let it go. And they made a good point with Neil Patrick Harris. He came out, he sang a little number. He did a little puppet show where he was pretty much explaining the plot of the last, 4 or 5 Doctors? And some which met a tragic end. I was happy Bill went the way he did. She did, whatever. He didn't care. And that's the way it should have been. It's like, you do you. So yeah, where was I? And at the end of every dismal demise, Neil Patrick Harris, as the toy maker, snips the marionette strings, and they collapse. And then the Doctor goes, yeah, but she survived in the last moment of time. And he goes, well, that's all right then. I'm going to get that clip. I'm putting it in. And he kept doing that for every one of the companions that kind of, What about Adric? Oh, that's all right then. So I thought that was pretty good, and I'm going to start using that more and more. Much to everyone's dismay, I'm sure. Wow. Wow. Let's just take a second. So I'm gonna take a nap while live streaming until someone wakes me up. Looks like I'm napping. Looks like I'm laying flat. Yeah, there we go. Just leaning. Just leaning. Yeah. So what do I got? I got nothing this weekend. Oh, because the storm's coming in. I got supplies. Surprise! And I got... God, I have so much weed. I mean, not like pounds or anything like that, but I have like a selection. I have like almost like a sampler pack back here. So there's that. I got enough beer to last over the weekend. That's what I'm talking about, the simple things in life. I got soda. I got plenty of food in the fridge. Cans. If there were a zombie apocalypse, I could hold up in here for 3 weeks, maybe a month. I mean, I don't think I would. I think, if the world has gone to shit, right now I don't believe in guns. Zombies appear, I believe in guns. I would believe in a cure. I'd rather have a cure for the zombies, but once you rip past that supernatural shit, and you get any validation that God and the devil is real, or that demons and do exist, I think it's more likely that they're aliens. But I don't think they have any interest in us. I mean, but again, who the fuck? I mean, they're maybe Will Smith. They want Will Smith. Said, boy, you could slap a smaller man. We need you. I was all for Will Smith, but that he would be that, that guy insulted me. Go kick his ass, and he did. Wow. Weak. It's just weak. And I mean, I imagine he's still a good performer and all that, but, that was pretty much it. I mean, dude. And the thing is he is responsible for his own actions, but she had a lot to do with it. Jada Pinkett Smith, fuck you and your alopecia. And that was just... Talk about treating... Don't lie, don't steal, be nice. Don't fuck your son's friend. In front of, you know what I mean? Specifically to humiliate what was a treasure. You spoiled a treasure. Good job, Jada. When you use your love to turn someone to the side of evil, fuck you, Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, sorry. I hope you never get fucked again, Jada Pinkett Smith. Oh, you don't get to kiss, touch, or have any intimate contact with another human being ever. And that's why I'm not a judge. That's because that's cruel. But that was fucked up. Here's someone who's so talented and who's been nice to, goes out of his way to try to build a good life for himself and the people that he loves around him, to get the middle finger by the person that you marry? Well, I mean, it does happen. It's... Alexa, play music by Kevin G Nicholson.
Playing songs by Kevin G Nicholson
Oh, no,
from
she
Kevin
stopped.
Spotify.
Yeah. You know what? All right, we're gonna end on this. It's a good time to go out back into the real world. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying right here. I mean, I am going somewhere. I'm going to pee, but we've been at this almost an hour, and still no one in or out the door. It amazes me, but it doesn't matter. Every time I put these up, whoever watches to this point, no one's watching to this point. It's okay. Everything's all right. In the moment, centered. Thank you very much for hanging out with me, folks. Again, my name's Kevin G Nicholson. Look for me on Spotify. Goodbye. Oh. Goodbye. Goodbye. Where's my